Hi, good evening, everyone who's joined. So we'll just wait a few seconds, perhaps a minute, minute and a half before we begin. Thank you for joining. So we'll just give it a minute before we join. I see more people are trickling in. Hi, good evening. Hi, good evening to everyone who's joined. Just give us about another 30 seconds, 20 seconds, and we shall continue with we should proceed with the Facebook Live. Hi, good evening. So great. Just another 20 seconds and then we shall start. Thank you, everyone, for your patience. Hi, good evening, everyone who's joined in. So we're just about to begin. You're here at the perfect time. Thank you. Hi, good evening, everyone. So great. I think we're ready now to begin. So thank you, everyone. Good evening. And thank you for taking out time today for this live session. Now, just before we begin, we have a video that we would like to show you, post which we will begin our session. Thank you.
In India, there are few institutions which prepare you or make you job ready. So there is a lot of competition to go into that institution.
As we know in India, a guy who is pursuing BTech or MTech, he's doing his master. After that, also he's unable to get a job. I interacted with so much technologies. I interacted with Java, C++, and I'm doing practical also.
Cloud computing, cybersecurity, operating system, basic and advanced, networking, basic and advanced, and parallelly we are learning communication skills also.
I, before getting into HCL Tech B program, did not know that I had leadership skills, good communication skills and all.
Giving opportunities to a 12th grade student, it's giving opportunities to fresh minds.
So thank you, everyone, for your patience and for viewing that video. As you know, this video is brought to you by HCL TechP, HCL's early career program, where we give class 12 students the opportunity to join the workforce right after they complete their schooling. Now, as you know, over the last few weeks, we've been organizing these, we've been holding these counseling sessions for you to give you a clearer path as to what is, what options are available to you in your future for your career. Now, for today's session, we have Mr. Rajat Soni, who's a renowned life coach who has worked extensively with teens to help them live up to their potential and achieve 10 times success in every sphere of life and emerge a young champion. He's also the founder of the Soni Academy that focuses on teen life coaching and parenting. Mr. Soni is also the author of Unjudge Your Teenager, Nurturing Your Teen to Unleash Their Potential, which discusses practical strategies to help parents enable their teens with everything they need to be successful. With a certification from International Coaching Federation USA and training in emotional freedom technique and neuro-linguistic programming practices, he has nurtured thousands of teens to become entrepreneurs, public speakers, and youth leaders with a passion for growth. Without further ado, let us welcome Mr. Soni as he answers all your questions about career paths available to you after class 12 and what you can do in the new year to build a successful future and achieve more. Thank you and welcome, Mr. Soni, to our session.
Thank you, Sana. Thank you for such an amazing, amazing introduction. And since I am meeting all of you, everyone watching us, and you, Sana, wishing all of you on a very, very happy new year.
Very happy with you as well.
A happy and spectacular 2021. We were all waiting for 2020 to go away, and it has gone. So we are here in a new year with new opportunities, with fresh perspectives, and an amazing, amazing things to happen. Now, last year was a time when we were all stranded at home, 24/7. We could not move out. There was lockdown, and that in fact reminded me of something that Modi ji had said, where he said that बुरे में अच्छा ढूंढो तो कोई बात हो, अच्छे में बुराई ढूंढना तो दुनिया का रिवाज है. So it was about focusing on things that are in our control rather than focusing on things that are not in our control. And what is in our control is to work towards achieving our dreams. हम सबके ख्वाब हैं, हम सब में वो क्षमता है. We all have that potential to achieve those dreams. But how do we do that? And that's what I'm going to talk about today. And dreams. Dreams can be anything, which can be, even if they sound a little unrealistic, it's okay. From those dreams, we structure them down into goals to make them more realistic. जब हम ख्वाबों को पैर दे देते हैं, तो वो गोल बन जाते हैं. We make them, make them little time bound, where we make them very specific, where we actually achieve what. Write down you're a parent. If you're a student, please write down you're a student, so that it'll be an amazing interaction that I can have with each one of you. अगर आप एक student हैं तो आप please लिखिए आप student हैं. अगर आप parent हैं, because आज मैं दोनों के तरफ से बात करने वाला हूँ, parents की तरफ से भी और students की तरफ से भी, because teenagers की life में उनकी family का बहुत बड़ा role होता है, whether it is making a career decision or it is making any other decision. And 2020 has been the most difficult time for the age group of 15 to 17 years old, from my observations. I have worked with so many teenagers, especially during this time. They were across all areas of their life. So whether it was their family, because सब इकट्ठे रह रहे थे, आदत नहीं है इकट्ठे रहने की. There were a lot of conflicts happening between father son, father daughter, mother son, parent child relationships. Friends, we could not meet our friends. हम बाहर नहीं निकल सकते थे, और क्योंकि हम बाहर नहीं निकल सकते थे, we found a very nice way of being so much into watching so many web series. हम लोग web series देख रहे थे. अगर यहाँ पे किसी को Money Heist पसंद है, तो please लिखिए आपकी वो पसंदीदा series है, तो just write it down, and or whichever series you watch. So there was a lot of digital that took over. Also in Corona, we realized that there are careers which we have to probably pick, which also survive recession. And we also saw a lot of people losing jobs On the other hand, we saw a lot of people doing some exemplary work. मेरे कुछ students हैं जो teenagers हैं, and but they are entrepreneurs too. So I have students who are into app development, and they are entrepreneurs, and they worked on that. They worked on how they can get more investor funding. So there were people who were finding it difficult to express their thoughts, to find clarity, and that's where it really helped them. So Sanad, if you could just bring about the first slide now, which is the first slide is which you're going to discuss now. It's about the various areas of our life. कभी कभी हम लोग बहुत ही संकृत हो जाते हैं. We get very limited in one or two areas of our life, not realizing that there are so many other areas. And जिसको भी यहाँ पे पिज्जा खाना पसंद है with lots and lots of cheese, वो लिखे यहाँ पे yes and I love pizza. So just like in pizza, अगर आपकी एक पिज्जा की स्लाइस है जिसका टेस्ट बहुत खराब है, या उसमें उसका चीज अच्छा नहीं है, या उसकी क्रस्ट अच्छी नहीं है, तो आपका पूरा पिज्जा खाने का एक्सपीरियंस खराब हो जाएगा. कुछ लोग ये भी कहेंगे कि चलो पिज्जा है तो हमने खा लिया, कोई बात नहीं. But for most of us, it will spoil our entire experience. So अगर हम देखें हमारी life में भी there are various slices. So Sana, the next slide please. So if we see, there are various slices in our life. The various slices in our life are the various areas which could be family, friends, fun and recreation, which is your academics, career, your personal growth, your health and fitness, and your school. Now, just think for a moment, just reflect. अगर कोई भी एक area of life आपका affected होता है, अगर आप किसी एक area में भी परेशान हैं, तो उसका impact आपके हर दूसरे area में आएगा. अगर if you are having major issues with your friends, or you're not making too many friends. So like for example, especially in the last 9 months, what I've seen is that because we were not really going out, हम लोग बहुत ज़्यादा अपने comfort zone में आ गए थे कि मतलब सब कुछ बस laptop on करो, phone on करो. Our world became that, जिसकी वजह से हमारा procrastination बहुत बढ़ गया. We were like, हम चीज़ों को delay करते थे, हमारे थोड़ा सा laziness आ गया था, थोड़ा सा आलस आ गया था. So one area of life, and that was of course also affecting in turn our studies, our academics, हमारी पढ़ाई, scores कभी हमारे नीचे हो जाते थे. It was affecting our relationship with our parents. हमारे parents हमसे आके बात करना चाहते हैं, but हम इतना busy हैं हमारे gaming में कि we'll just ask them to leave, or we'll not respond. So there are so many things that happen. Even parents, for that matter, had to go through a lot, if parents are the ones who are watching over here. So अगर एक area of life भी affect होता है, तो सारे areas affect होते हैं. और जब हमारे career की बात आती है, अगर हम बाकी areas में अपना balance बना लें, if we can create a balance in the other areas of life, our career is sorted. हम लोग अपने करियर में क्लैरिटी ले आएंगे. अगर हमारे करियर में अप्स एंड डाउन्स आएंगे, we will be ready to face those challenges with a lot of strength. पूरी strength के साथ, पूरी resilience के साथ, पूरी हिम्मत के साथ हम उन challenges को face कर सकते हैं. अब अगर मैं थोड़ा सा deep जाऊं इन areas में, so if you see, for example, the area of family, there are certain things that you like to do in your life. Sometimes we don't feel very understood, that हमारे parents हमें समझ नहीं रहे हैं, और उन चीजों को हम कभी कभी express नहीं कर पाते. कभी कभी वो हमारे अंदर रह जाती है, और जब वो बाहर निकल के आती है तो वो बहुत गलत तरीके से निकल के आती है. A lot of times, so most of us as teenagers, we often feel judged कि what are our parents thinking about us, हम ये बोले, हम ये नहीं बोले, हम कैसे करें, हम क्या करें. On the other hand, parents also find it very difficult to understand their teenager. In fact, that was the inspiration behind me, writing a book entirely on that, where I said, unjudge your teenager. पहले आप उनके shoes में जाओ, उनके वर्ल्ड में घुसो तो सही, rather than just saying keep your phone down and go to study. First, just realize what does a phone mean to them. What is it? See, phone or digital nowadays is not really only a tech device. It is also a relational device. It is what gives us access to our friends. So when parents are coming and saying just put it down and take it away, you're like attacking their friendships. And you are doing that while you are using the phone the most commonly. So you're not modeling the behavior what you want to see in your child. So now it is about understanding that, acknowledging that, and then having a conversation with your child. So जब आप तब conversation करोगे अपने बच्चे के साथ, आप उससे पूछोगे कि you can just ask him, because everybody here, all teenagers, all students, we have that wisdom and we are smart enough to understand certain things. हमें पता है कि टेक्नोलॉजी के नेगेटिव इम्पैक्ट्स क्या हैं, हमें पता है टेक्नोलॉजी के पॉजिटिव्स क्या हैं. We know it. So if simply as parents we can just ask what is it that is so I really understand it gives you a lot of joy, but what do you think are the negative impacts of technology, and what are things you can do alternately? Now, jab alternately ki baat aati hai, so we come to various other areas of your life. So family is purely about understanding each other, creating an understanding between you and your parents. Jab career choices aati hain, especially मेरा एक स्टूडेंट है, उसको सॉकर में जाना था. He wanted to become a football player. And the parents belong to उनका ज़्यादा they were very interested कि the child gets into engineering, because they realized कि यहाँ पे soccer options and these options, they may not be very good for him. But the child was so passionate about it. उसने इतना passion दिखाया उस area में. Now, whatever I'm speaking about, the cases I'm speaking about are very specific to those cases. They are not generalizations. Let me just say that as a disclaimer. So now the child is finally, instead of joining an institute for engineering, he's now pursuing soccer as a profession for himself. So realizing your interests, there was one child who was actively into gaming. Now, gaming when he was as young as 11 years old, the whole thing took a very different turn. पहले parents उसको बहुत रोकते थे gaming करने से, but then he realized his passion is more to understand how games are built. And that's the student I talk about. Uska naam hai Advait Thakur, who is now an entrepreneur. And he is actually, he was 15 when he started his venture. He's 17 years today. And wo apna venture pura run kar raha hai. And he is implementing things which are really working for him. He interacts with people who are much older to him. Agar aap uski team dekhoge, uski team mein 30 years plus age ke log hain. And how beautifully he's learned to interact with them. These are the real learnings. Agar aap kabhi bhi reflect back karoge apna, your students, if your students reflect on the last few years, if your parent reflect back on your school life, what is it that you remember about that? Is it that you remember what you studied? Or is it the experiences that you had? और उन experiences से आपने क्या-क्या सीखा? वो जो आपकी learnings है, वो जो आपने skills develop करी हैं, that is what will help you build a career that you want. That is what helps you today to move forward and be successful in other career, which I'll talk more about later. So family, friends, how is your relationship with your friends? कैसे चल रहा है? दोस्त कम हैं, दोस्त ज़्यादा हैं? And when I talk about friends, it also gives you an opportunity to make conversations, to do something जिसको हम कहते हैं networking. आज की date में, it's so important for you to connect to people, to reach somewhere. LinkedIn एक platform है, which most of you know about. If you go on that platform, you can go and connect to the top professionals of various organizations. You can interact with them. Of course, ऐसे होगा आप 50 को भेजोगे, 5 reply करेंगे, but reply करेंगे. So you learn to make conversations not only offline, but in today's world, even online. where you can create that connect with people. And it starts from school. It starts from your friendships. It's about how you deal with your friendships, how you deal with your friends. Friendships में conflicts आए, उनको कैसे deal करा? How are you dealing with things? COVID was also a time where a lot of teen relationships happened. बहुत breakups हुए, बहुत things got back. So a lot of things like that happened. But it was about realizing that what truly it is about building, whether it is a personal relationship or it is about developing a professional relationship. So friendships or social life is what really matters. Fun and recreation is the time that you give to yourself. As I said, if you are only in the online world for 10 to 12 hours in a day, that is not fun and recreation. Fun and recreation is जब आप अपने आप को time दे रहे हो, when you are spending time on things that you enjoy doing but which are offline. It could be creative, something creative that you like to do, जहाँ पे आपको actually peace मिलता है. Because सबसे ज़्यादा headaches, migraines मैंने बच्चों में, in students especially, I have seen in the COVID time, because they were constantly, their day used to start with the phone, end on a laptop or on a phone or a desktop. इतना डिजिटल रहा है इस पूरे टाइम में. सो रियल फन एंड रिक्रिएशन है जब आप बाहर जाके खेल रहे हो, और आप, if you can't go out, you're doing something inside which is very creative. Academics. जब हम पढ़ाई की बात करते हैं, of course I'm not someone who'll tell you or teach you the subjects, वो मैं नहीं पढ़ाना चाहता. In fact, if the students want to write down their favorite subjects or subjects that they just don't enjoy, please go ahead and write. That will be very interesting to see. अब पढ़ाई में भी एक चीज होती है, कुछ चीजें होती हैं, हमें कुछ सब्जेक्ट्स बिल्कुल इंटरेस्टिंग नहीं लगते. We just don't like those subjects. But देखो, you've come to a setup. अब school है, you like it, you don't like it. Again, focusing on things you can control, focusing and not focusing on things that you cannot control. So basically, आपका control किस चीज पे है कि मैं उन subjects को किस तरह पढ़ूं कि वो मेरे लिए इंटरेस्टिंग हो जाए. Each one of us has a different learning style. Each one of us, some of us are more visual learners. अब visual learners कौन होते हैं? जो videos देख के, graphs देख के, pictures देख के बहुत अच्छी तरह सीख लेते हैं. और visual वो भी होते हैं when they close their eyes and they visualize something about them in future. That brings a lot of clarity in their thought. So they learn better by visual aids of learning. There are some students who are great at auditory learning, where they're listening to things and doing those things, especially languages. If you are someone who struggles with languages, कि languages पढ़ना मुश्किल लगता है, उनको सुनना शुरू कर दो. Listen to books, listen to things which will help you improve your language skills. Then the third kind of people are people who are students who learn in kinesthetic ways, which is a way where you learn by doing things, especially like science. Agar the students will enjoy doing the practicals first, और फिर उस चीज से वो ज्यादा समझेंगे, rather than just being into the books and learning things. So identify what is your learning style and then study. And let me tell you, once you're able to identify your learning style, and once you're able to understand how to connect to other people, connecting to other people also means that you're able to understand what their learning style is. Just imagine how much this will help you in your career. आपके करियर में आप डील करोगे लोगों से. You will deal with your bosses, you will deal with your teams. आप हर इंसान से डील करोगे. और उन चीजों को सीखने का मौका आज भी आपके पास है, whether आप online हो, whether आप offline हो. You can still learn those things. So academics, and then of course career. Now, career, there are a lot of opportunities still there. which we talk about. But here career basically refers to how much clarity you have about your career. आज आप कितने क्लियर हो कि आपको आगे जाके क्या करना है. एक 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 सेकंड में जाके आप अपने आप को एक रेटिंग दो. गिव अ रेटिंग टू योरसेल्फ ऑन अ स्केल ऑफ 1 to 10 कि आप कितने क्लियर हो. 1 is where you're not at all clear on what you want to do. 10 is where you're absolutely clear. आपको पता है कि मुझे यही करना है. और 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 कहीं बीच में कि आप अपने आप को कहाँ देखते हो. And then set your career goals that I am here right now. I'm at a level of 4 right now, and I want to reach a level of 10. So I am here and I want to reach a level of 10. Now set your career goals. What is it that you need to do? Similarly, you can set your goals for your academics. कि आज मैं यहाँ हूँ, आज मेरे ये scores आते हैं. This is where I want to reach, and for that I need these scores. These are my target scores. So start goal and end goal is this. Set your goals, and then you will be able to find a way on how you achieve them. For example, uh, uh, in career, for example, right now you have some idea कि मुझे क्या करना है. For example, you know that I want to get into probably the artificial intelligence space, the AI space, and you say I have this much clarity. Now, from here to reaching a point to which colleges I want to join and so on, there is a journey between that. So there is a start goal and there is an end goal. उसके बीच में मेरे को क्या path follow करना है, मुझे क्या research करनी है. You can do your own research, identify what are the skills that are required, the technical skills that are required, the personality skills that are required for that kind of a profession that you want to get into, and then match it to your own strengths, to your own amazing qualities. Each one of us have crores and crores of amazing qualities. हमारे में इतनी अच्छी चीजें हैं, बस हमें सुनने की आदत नहीं रह गई है. बड़े कम लोग आके तारीफ करते हैं. So we're not used to listening to very good things about us. So just think about any one success of yours. कोई एक ऐसी चीज जो आपने करी जिसके लिए आप बहुत ज्यादा प्राउड हैं, that you're really really proud of. It could be an achievement, an academic achievement, a non-academic achievement. It could also be जहां पे आपने अंदर से महसूस किया कि अरे ये तो मैंने सोचा ही नहीं था मैं ये कर सकता हूं और मैंने ये कर लिया. वो जो फीलिंग आती है उसके बाद, that is a success story. और success story के कितने parts होते हैं. What did you do to achieve it? आपने क्या किया ताकि आप वो चीज अचीव कर पाओ. उस चीज को अचीव करने के लिए you may say you were very passionate about it. आपने बहुत हार्ड वर्क किया, आपने लोगों से बहुत इंटरैक्ट किया, कभी इधर पूछा कभी उधर पूछा. You had to interact with, आपने टीम मैनेज करी, आपने कितनी चीजें करी. वो सारी चीजें जो आपने करी, what is it that you did not do to achieve it? अब did not do to achieve it में आता है things like मैंने उस चीज को डिले नहीं किया, मैं लेजी नहीं हुआ, मुझे आलस नहीं आया, मैंने गिव अप नहीं किया. मेरे को बहुत टाइम लगा कि शायद मैं ये नहीं कर पाऊंगा. रिसेंटली मेरा एक स्टूडेंट था, वो एक ऐप डेवलप कर रहा था और उसको वो ऐप डेवलप करने में मतलब he was finding it very difficult because for him the concept that he was doing was very innovative. But then he went on and he kept doing it, and he finally made a very, very nice app. So it's about just keep going and not giving up. Then you ask yourself, what were you thinking or feeling when you achieved it? जब आपने वो चीज अचीव कर ली तो आपको कैसा लगा, क्या महसूस किया आपने? You felt excited, you felt enthusiastic. आप अपने आप को बोल रहे थे, yes, I did it. मैंने ये कर लिया, I did it. And then you ask yourself that what is that one thing that made all the difference? Was it that one conversation with the person that made all the difference? Was it when I came out of my comfort zone and did something that made all the difference? Analyze your own success story. उससे आपकी इतनी amazing qualities निकल के आएंगी. I ask my students to come out with 100 of their amazing qualities. And जब वो amazing qualities निकलती हैं, you feel so confident about yourself, you get so much clarity about yourself. Match your amazing qualities to the technical skills, the personality skills required for a particular career that you want to achieve, or a career cluster that you want to get into, and then move forward to finding colleges and everything else. It's something जो हम खुद कर सकते हैं, things that we can do on our own. Personal growth. Personal growth is an area, things that we are awesome at. What are things that we are amazing at doing? And what are things that we want to be more awesome at? हम लोग words use करते हैं strengths or weaknesses. उसकी जगह अगर हम words use करें, what are things that we are awesome at? What are things that we want to be more awesome at? More awesome at could be some skills, external skills that you want to come up with, learn. Maybe it be artificial intelligence, cloud computing, whatever that you want to learn, or it could be something like photography, singing. So there is a student of mine right now. She is very focused on becoming a singer. So she's really working on that. So what are things you want to be more amazing at? जब मैं लोगों से बात करने जाता हूँ तो मैं बात नहीं कर पाता, मैं ये सोचता हूँ कि वो क्या सोचेगा, उस सोच में कोई बात ही नहीं होती. So it's about how you are making your conversations, how you're expressing yourself. Because you may be the most hardworking person in a company, but if you cannot express yourself clearly to your team members or to your boss, promotions may or may not happen. You may not rise much in your career without the right skill set that you have. Hard working is a very important skill, but hard working ke ilawa, you need skills to be real. अब जब मैं कॉन्वर्जेशंस की बात कर रहा हूँ या लोगों को मैनेज करने की बात कर रहा हूँ, आई एम नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट कि आप किसी के चमचे बन जाओ या कुछ बन जाओ. नो, इट्स नॉट अबाउट दैट. It's about where you're trying to create genuine value for the other person, एक genuine intent के साथ. For example, जब मैंने social skills की बात करी तो मैंने LinkedIn की बात करी. आप लोग सब स्टूडेंट्स हो, आप लोग आज जाके अपना LinkedIn प्रोफाइल खोल सकते हो. Start posting content on it. और वो contents, don't post it with the intention of getting a job. That is a byproduct. Go and post content of whatever you feel about things, feel about yourself, your skills, whatever you have learned so far. Dalo with an intention to create value for the other person. And then see how things just move for you. And I am someone who used to read a book, एक book होती है Influence करके, which is by a very, very popular author. एंड जब वो बुक मैंने पढ़ी तो मैंने उस बुक के बारे में पोस्ट किया लिंक्डइन पे, और मैंने उनके ऑथर को टैग करा, who's a New York best-selling author, everything. That person responded to my message. We also connected on LinkedIn, and we started our interactions. My first job, which I got, was through LinkedIn. I connected directly to either to the business heads or to the CEOs of the organizations. So give yourself that chance. Don't think that kya hoga, kya nahi hoga. Just go out and just do it. So personal growth, identify what are things that you're awesome at, what are things you want to be more awesome at. Now in more awesome at, work on things that are going to impact your future. उन चीजों पे काम करो, हर चीज पे काम करने की जरूरत नहीं है. Then, of course, another very, very important aspect that comes is the aspect of your health or fitness. Something which we had quite taken a backseat over the last few months for a lot of people. But yes, that is something that really, really makes a lot of difference. Physically, aap exercise kar rahe ho, you are doing something, because as we say, a healthy body leads to a healthy mind. So it's really important to keep yourself fit, to keep yourself flexible enough in your movements, and so on and so forth. School has taken a very different turn. It's all online, and if there are any teachers who are watching this, a big congratulations and kudos to them कि उन्होंने कैसे adapt करा अपने आप को एक online environment में. It's been difficult for both teachers, students and parents, तीनों के लिए मुश्किल time था ये in terms of the online classes which happened. But finally, it started working out for a few, because we were all very used to, you know, getting up and going out, meeting our friends, which completely changed for us. So now, if anything is happening in our school or in things that are not happening well for us, it will impact the other areas of your life. So हर area of life आपका important है. किसी एक area में हमें stuck नहीं होना है. Balance create करना है हर area में. Balance कैसे create करना है? Balance के लिए हमें हर area में अपने आप को evaluate करना है. हमें अपने आप को एक score देना है, एक marks देने हैं. कोई टीचर हमें मार्क्स नहीं दे रही है, हम अपने आप को मार्क्स दे रहे हैं कि हम कितने खुश हैं, कितने सैटिस्फाइड हैं हर उस एरिया में. पहले हम अपने आप को वो स्कोर देंगे और फिर हम अपने आप से पूछेंगे कि हमें इस स्कोर से 10 on 10 तक पहुंचने के लिए या 7 on 10 तक पहुंचने के लिए हमें क्या क्या करने की जरूरत है. एंड देन वी स्टार्ट वर्किंग ऑन इट. आज आप अगर 12th में हो, 11th में हो, एंड आप अपने आप को 3rd year of कॉलेज में देख रहे हो या कहीं भी देख रहे हो, वहां से वहां तक के आपके सफर में कितने, और फॉर एग्जाम्पल यूर इन क्लास 12th एंड आपका एक ड्रीम है कि यू वांट टू सपोज यू वांट टू बी एन एंटरप्रेन्योर, और आपको एक एंटरप्रेन्योर बनना है या आपको कुछ बनना है, तो उस पाथ में क्या क्या माइलस्टोन्स आएंगे. सो पहले यहाँ से कॉलेज आएगा, कॉलेज से फिर अगर आप आगे पढ़ना चाहते हो, जॉब करना चाहते हो, फिर आप अपने एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप में जाना चाहते हो, व्हाटएवर इज योर करियर पाथ, तो वहां से वहां तक पहुंचने के लिए मुझे क्या क्या स्किल्स आने पड़ेंगे. स्किल्स हमारे बहुत चीजों में आते हैं. सपोज इवन इफ इट्स एकेडमिक्स, इफ इट्स स्टडीज, आई विल बी टॉकिंग अबाउट दैट मोर लेटर. स्किल्स ऑफ प्रायोरिटाइजेशन, हमें अपनी प्रायोरिटी सेट करना बहुत जरूरी है. हमारे लिए आज की डेट में क्या जरूरी है और क्या चीजें हैं जो हम बाद में भी कर सकते हैं. Sometimes when we are so involved in the digital world कि हम गेमिंग में इतना घुस गए हैं. Now I'm only talking about the extremities. हर चीज का बैलेंस है तो ठीक है, बट हम अगर उतना उसमें घुस जाएंगे तो फिर we really go out of balance and we cannot move forward. So we get stuck to one area of life which affects every other area of our life.
Thank you so much, Rajat. Sorry, I just thought I'd add myself back to the stream, and thank you for breaking down this entire well, slices, if you as you call them. That's a very interesting approach, and I'm sure a lot of our viewers would be trying this and, as you said, marking themselves in these spheres individually. So before we proceed, if you don't mind, I thought there's this question which comes up a lot, and I thought it would be quite relevant. Considering that right now everyone is involved in a lot of things, of course, with school exams, even for us in our work lives, of course, there's this challenge everyone faces. I mean, everyone struggles, not everyone, a lot of people, with time management कि कैसे हम अपना time थोड़ा better manage कर सके. We all only get 24 hours in a day. It's all the same for us, but some people can make more out of it and do more in those 24 hours. So please do share, your perspective on how we can manage our time better, please.
Great question, Sanat. Yeah, and it's a very common thing that comes up usually. So as you said, each one of us has 24 hours in a day, and it's about us how we use it as productively as we can. So what I suggest for this usually is that now, of course, every student is different and they have their own way of interpreting it. So I would like to say that first, create an intent that you want to have a balanced life. पहले वो intention बना लो. अगर वो willingness नहीं है, वो intention नहीं है, तो कुछ भी work नहीं करने वाला. So first, create that intent in your mind that you are ready to balance your life, and why you are ready to balance your life. The why is very important. Why you're ready to balance your life is for achieving whatever dream you have in your life, which is not short term, which is long term. So you are creating a balance in your life today for a future that you want for yourself, right? So create that intent in your mind. Second thing, अगर आपका उस दिन स्कूल डे है, so once the school is over at whatever time आपका online classes खत्म हो रही हैं, उसके बाद just sit down for 10 minutes, have your lunch, whatever your break time is, then sit down. It doesn't take more than 10 minutes. I call it 10 awesome minutes. आप 10 मिनट बैठो और 10 मिनट में बस अपनी किसी भी नोटबुक में, ट्राई यूजिंग अ नोटबुक रादर देन योर डिजिटल डिवाइस, उस पे आप 2 कॉलम्स, 3 कॉलम्स बना लो। पहले कॉलम में राइट डाउन द 5 थिंग्स दैट यू प्लान टू डू टुडे। ओके, कीप इट रिस्ट्रिक्टेड टू 5, इट्स इजियर टू डू। अगर 5 से ज्यादा हैं तो आप कैटेगरीज भी कर सकते हो। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, you can have, say you have a homework for maths or a homework for physics or whatever it is, so you can write down physics homework, then write down the details. Now लेजीनेस कहाँ आती है या चीजें क्यों नहीं हो पाती? क्योंकि हम जिस टाइम हमें वो चीज करनी होती है, हम उस टाइम जाके सब ढूंढ रहे होते हैं, ये बुक कहाँ पे है, ये कहाँ पे है, वो व्हाट्सएप आया था, वो कहाँ गया, वेयर डिड दैट टीचर सेंड इट, वी गेट वेरी लॉस्ट। सो हैव इन द डिटेल्स, राइट डाउन, अगर ये होमवर्क है तो ये इस पेज पे है, या ये यहाँ से मुझे चाहिए, ये पीडीएफ फाइल है, गेट एवरीथिंग रेडी। In the third column, write down how much time you think it's going to take. 30 minutes, 45 minutes, 20 minutes, जो भी टाइम है वो टाइम लिखो वहां पे, ठीक है? Now, see, every student is different. Some students are very comfortable doing it in terms of जब वो how much time भी अगर लिख देते हैं, so they know in today's, आज के दिन में मुझे इतना टाइम चाहिए इन चीजों को करने के लिए। Some students go a step further. So before that, when you are writing these 5 things are not all academic. इसमें 2 चीजें आपको जरूर ऐड करनी है। एक, physical exercise, any form of physical exercise you need to do in your on a daily basis, okay? And second thing is, how much mobile time are you going to give to yourself? So कितना डिजिटल टाइम करोगे? अगर डिजिटल टाइम बहुत ज्यादा है, उसको कितना रिड्यूस करना है, कितना रिड्यूस कर सकते हो, फॉर दैट मैटर। सो, और यू कैन ऑल्सो राइट इन दैट डिजिटल सेक्शन, फॉर एग्जाम्पल, once you've finished a subject, you know, for 10 minutes you're going to watch this. So digital time is very important. So 3 columns. First column is the topic, second column are the details, and third column कितना टाइम लगेगा। स्टूडेंट्स ऑल्सो फेस अ चैलेंज है, वो कहते हैं कि हमें पता नहीं हमें कितना टाइम लगेगा, तो हम एस्टिमेट नहीं कर पाते। अंडरस्टैंड इट, हाउ यू डू इट, अपना पैटर्न समझो, 1 हफ्ता लिखो। फर्स्ट डे आपने 30 मिनट्स अलॉट करे, वो कम थे, यू नो इट नाउ, नेक्स्ट टाइम अलॉट अ लिटिल मोर। जितनी अवेयरनेस आएगी उतना एक्शन होगा। सो बिकम अवेयर ऑफ योर ओन पैटर्न कि मुझे एक्चुअली इन चीजों के लिए कितना टाइम चाहिए। Now, some students go even a step further, where they then get into their timetables which are set, where they write down कि मैं इस टाइम से इस टाइम ये करूंगा या करूंगी, और मैं इस टाइम से इस टाइम ये करूंगा या करूंगी। So that is again very dependent from student to student. Time management works this way because you are also coming back to the balance. You are balancing all areas of your life. जब आप एक्सरसाइज कर रहे हो, जब आप अपने आप को टाइम दे रहे हो, उस एक्सरसाइज के टाइम में आपके, यू आर फीलिंग पीसफुल इन द माइंड, यू आर एबल टू स्ट्रक्चर योर थॉट्स, और इवन व्हेन यू नो समटाइम्स आई आस्क चिल्ड्रन टू राइट डाउन देयर थॉट्स कि आज मैंने क्या क्या सोचा, क्या क्या मेरे दिमाग में था। सो गिव दैट थिंग इन माइंड। सो द फर्स्ट स्टेप इन टाइम मैनेजमेंट इज टू क्रिएट द इंटेंशन कि मुझे ये करना है, बिकॉज आई नो विद टीनेजर्स अगर विलिंगनेस नहीं है तो कुछ भी कर लो, कुछ नहीं होता। सो विलिंगनेस। सेकंड इज of course creating that chart which has 3 columns, which is your 10 awesome minutes, and third is to put that in a timesheet or a time management table. So that's Sanat, that's the answer for that.
Thank you so much, Rajat. I think those were some really interesting points. Specifically, I would like to say that, you know, I myself have seen this with working out, and जैसे आप physical exercise की बात कर रहे हो, that does definitely help you, think better, think more clearly. I mean, just a small example that I'd like to share. When I was in a boarding school, and we were getting used to our 5:30 morning runs, and the drills that we used to do. uh, I mean, मेरी percentage growth की अगर मैं बात करूँ school में, it went up by 25%. So that in itself, I can tell you, was a big change. So I'm sure all these tips that you just shared about defining your whys, and uh, actually breaking down your timetable and your tasks, that will certainly help. So thank you for that, Rajat.
In fact, Sanat, this recently हुआ था. This is a 16-year-old teenager, and उसमें ना बहुत aggression है. So he's very aggressive by nature. And वो अपना aggression हमेशा basketball field पे निकालता था. So he used to go on basketball, he used to play, and then he used to feel better. अब lockdown time आया तो aggression कहाँ निकाले? तो वो निकलता था kind of parents पे. And parents पे तो निकलता था, but beneath that aggression, there was lot of frustration, things happening. So once he realized what is really happening, of course, he worked on his thinking and everything else. But then he started doing a lot of push-ups and stuff at the home. And that really helped him to then structure his life better. So very similar to your case.
Great.
Great.
I
Yeah,
just
so
share
Sanat, yeah. It'll be good to make it interactive. So if there are any questions, I'd love to address them.
Yes, absolutely. Everyone, please feel free to ask your questions. In fact, we encourage it. ये अच्छा रहेगा for both sides. You would also be able to learn more, and you can ask your specific questions. Rajat is here to help you in whatever way he can, of course. So please, you can continue asking your questions. We'll move forward for now in our with our slides, and once these are done, we will continue taking the questions as well. Thank you.
Sure. So जब हम गोल्स की बात करते हैं, अब हम गोल सेट कर रहे हैं, सपोज एकेडमिक्स, आई टेक अ वेरी सिंपल एग्जांपल इन एकेडमिक्स, कि मुझे अपना स्कोर एक सब्जेक्ट में से फिजिक्स में या कोई बिजनेस स्टडीज में, मेरे को अपना सब्जेक्ट, मेरे को अपने मार्क्स सपोज फ्रॉम अ 60% आई वांट टू टेक इट टू अ 80%. ठीक है. तो जब आप कोई गोल सेट कर रहे हो अपना, तो दैट गोल मेक श्योर इट्स अ स्मार्ट गोल. अब स्मार्ट गोल क्या होते हैं? ऑफ कोर्स दे आर स्मार्ट, लाइक वी आर ऑल स्मार्ट ओवर हियर, बट देन स्मार्ट गोल स्टैंड्स फॉर समथिंग. Make sure that the goal that you're making in any area of your life, सबसे पहले वो एक specific goal है. What exactly are you trying to achieve? I am trying to achieve marks in physics, and I want them to go from, so then the next step comes, make it measurable. अब कैसे पता चलेगा मार्क्स इंप्रूव हुए हैं? जब मेरे मार्क्स 60 से 80% आ जाएँगे, तो मेरे को पता है कि मैंने अपना गोल अचीव कर लिया. एंड जैसे मैंने पहले कहा था, एक स्टार्ट गोल होता है, एक एंड गोल होता है. बीच में आप एक मिड गोल भी बना सकते हो. 60 to 80 पहुँचना can be, I'm not saying you cannot achieve it, you can achieve it, but then it's easier to achieve a 70% first. So 60 से 70 भी मैं आ गया, so I will feel better about it, and then by my finals I will reach a 80%. So get a goal that is measurable, usko measure kar sakte ho, which is attainable. Is it genuinely possible to achieve it? Sometimes there was this student of mine, he used to feel that, now he's a trap, so wo na archery or trap shooting bahut अच्छे से करता है, and he's really really good at it. So he really wanted to go to a very very high level college bahar, abroad. Now he used to feel कि सिर्फ उस, and academically he was so academic scores were really really low, मतलब बहुत marks उसके बहुत ही low आते थे. You need to have a certain average marks to enter a college which is really really high level. तो वो उसका गोल था हार्वर्ड पहुंचना, बट ही वाज, और वेरी हाई लेवल कॉलेज पहुंचना, बट ही वाज नॉट रेडी टू वर्क on his academics. So that was a goal which was becoming very unattainable for him. So make a goal which is achievable, right? Then is it contributing to your growth? Is it relevant? So for example, getting these marks in this subject, is it taking you forward? If it is taking you forward, great, then go ahead with it. So, and then make it very time bound. टाइम बाउंड होना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है कि अगर मैंने मिड गोल बनाया 70% का, तो मैं 60 to 70% से मिड टर्म्स तक पहुंच जाऊंगा, या जब मेरे एग्जाम्स आएंगे बीच में, आई विल रीच टिल देयर. फॉर 10th and 12th इतने सारे तो एग्जाम्स होते हैं आपके पूरे साल में कि you have a lot of opportunities to do it. So maybe a cycle test happening, pre-boards happening, whatever happening. So use it as an opportunity. How can I achieve it? So make sure that your goals are smart. So whether it is for your academics, whether it is for your fitness, fitness goals banate ho, I want to reach this target. Just use some smart goals for that. I think there's a question that popped up, Sanat. What was that? I couldn't really read it. I think it was Tanya. I have a question. I'm a 12th grader, and my problem is that I spend the whole day reading comics, which I want to improve, and would be nice to get some tips. How focused are you, Tanya, to improve? Firstly, tell me that. How passionate are you to improve that? The intention is important. And then ask yourself few questions. And when you answer those questions for yourself, you'll have the answer. Questions like, first, what have you done so far to make that change in you? What have you done so far to make that change in you? You may say that, I tried one or two things, but फिर से मेरा ध्यान उसी में चला जाता है, right? Second thing is, what stops you? What stops you from creating that balance of going from comics to what really matters to you? So again, it really matters to understand your why. Why is balance important? Why is class 12 important to you? Boards, does it make it, is it a milestone in your life to achieve something bigger? What are your dreams, Tanya? Reflect on your dreams. Dreams को फिर divide करो, dreams को फिर divide करो, फिर put down करो अपने goals में कि मेरे 15 साल. I'm really trying to improve, but every time it does not longer than a week. Okay. Tanya, involve somebody with you who's a accountability partner for you. It can be a friend of yours. It can be a parent also, but subject to the fact that your parents are not too nagging. So you can have a buddy, a partner who is there to support you. So it could be a friend of yours. It could be a cousin of yours, or anybody. Pick a person who's your accountability partner, who makes sure that you don't mess up with things, and you make sure that she doesn't mess up with it, because everybody has certain challenges. You're not the only one. If you are stuck on comics, probably the other person is also stuck on certain things. So become accountability partners for each other. But create a very strong intent. And Tanya, you can also try you just closing your eyes and just visualize yourself, that how you see yourself, say 3 months from now, when you're perfectly able to balance your life between comics and your other things that matter to you. And then see what is it that you see, what is it that you hear 6 months from now, what is it that you feel. And then when you reach your future self in your mind, then ask that future self, what are those 1 or 2 daring actions that you took to be there? And those are the daring actions you need to take right now. It's about reflection. Reflect upon yourself. Yeah. So Tanya, that's for you.
Yes.
It's for you to reflect and find an answer. Yes, Sanad.
Thank
Okay,
you so
yeah,
much.
fine.
So yes, I'll now proceed with the presentation. And then we'll take up some more questions as and when they trickle in.
Yeah, so these are some pictures here. Now, ab kaun kis ko janta hai? Sanad, do you recognize the first person, the one on the extreme left?
Oh, yes, the professor.
The professor from Money Heist. Yeah. Yeah, and then there are other people. So keep writing down on the comments who are the people over here. So there is Virat Kohli, there is Palash Sen, there is Kiran Mazumdar Shaw, one of our top leaders, and there is ABJ. There is our veteran, the amazing person who's been there. Tanya, thank you. It was a pleasure answering your question. Yeah, so great. So why have I put these pictures all together? And the person you see on the right is a person. So I run a series which is called Goal Getters with Rajat Soni. So he's Muhammad Shams Alam. He's someone who's a paraplegic. Where now paraplegic is a person whose two limbs don't work. So now his lower part of the body doesn't function at all. He is now an international gold medalist para swimmer. So these are people who inspire you for reasons. These are people who have exhibited skills and reached where they have. Now, a lot of people may question, why have I put the professor over here? Now, I am not commenting on the things he does, nor I'm promoting the things that he does in Money Heist. But look at his precision, the meticulousness with which he does things. True leadership qualities this person has. The way he knows how to work with people, work with their minds. This person really has it in him. He has those skills which really work. People management skills, leadership skills, everything comes into picture. If you see Virat Kohli, he's very good with strategy. He's very good with strategy, very good with managing his team. Palash Sin I have put for a reason over here. He's an amazing singer, and we know him as an amazing singer. But he's actually a qualified MBBS. He has an MBBS degree, and he's actually been trained to be a doctor. But he chose to pursue his passion. So when I say don't really get stuck on any one thing, कभी हम लोग बहुत चिंता में लग जाते हैं कि भाई हमारे करियर का क्या होगा, ये सिचुएशन चेंज हो गई, सर्कमस्टांसेस चेंज हो गए, क्या होगा. Life ahead is long, and what you end up doing may not be what you started with, and that's perfectly fine. I'm someone who's done engineering, I've done MBA, and now I work with children because I just love working with the generation. So where things take you, you never know. And Palash Sen is one such example. Amazing singer, understood his passion while he was doing his MBBS, and then went on to produce some amazing music. Of course, and we know about the others really well. So what Muhammad Shams Alam tells us is about something which is called gratitude. He was a very good player, and he was not a paraplegic by birth. He had lived a life with all his limbs intact. He lost them when he was at quite an age. But now he's a symbol of positivity. He's someone jo gratitude mein rehte hain. He lives in shukrana. He lives in gratitude that whatever I have, I'll make the most of it. His upper body strength is amazing. And he's a motivational speaker. He's done so many TEDx talks, Josh talks, an amazing person to be with. So when I'm talking about these people, I am talking about skills that are required to be successful in your future and whatever you want to go forward and in your life. Next slide, please, Sanad. So I'll just sum up the skills which I have spoken about over time. First skill is the skill of self-reflection. थोड़ा सा टाइम निकालो दिन में जहां आप थोड़ा सा अपने आप पे रिफ्लेक्ट कर रहे हो, where you are creating that intent for yourself. It could be that intention for the day. Intention for the day could be कि आज मैं कॉमिक्स इतने टाइम के लिए पढ़ूंगी या आज मैं कॉमिक्स नहीं पढ़ूंगी. इंटेंट बनाओ दिन की, रिफ्लेक्ट कि मुझे ये चीज कैसे इम्पैक्ट कर रही है, इससे मेरी जिंदगी में क्या फर्क पड़ रहा है. If comics are making a difference in your life going forward, it's something that needs to be worked upon. So reflect upon it. Okay. Uh, Write down, when you're reading comics, how does it make you feel? And what are the other things you can do that can give you a similar feeling? So reflection is really important. Reflection is also what we did in the first slide, which was the wheel of life, where you're actually reflecting on each area of your life. The second is the growth mindset. Is somebody having a growth mindset? So mindset basically is how you think about yourself and the people around you, जिससे बहुत फर्क पड़ता है how your mindset is. If your mindset is of a person, जैसे मैं हूँ मैं वैसे ही रहूंगा या रहूंगी, so it doesn't work that ways. What is it that it's that I can, so like there is a difference in saying I can do it, I cannot do it, sorry, there's a difference in saying I cannot do it and I cannot do it yet, which creates a mindset which is a growth mindset, which is a positive mindset. We cannot always think positively, but we can apply a positive mindset in that situation on how we respond to it and not react to it. Social intelligence. Social intelligence is very similar to when I spoke about making conversations with people, people management skills. Using LinkedIn in the online mode is amazing, amazing for students. And yes, then of course about decision making. Decision making is a skill which helps us in all stages of our life, whether it has to be decide which career to take, which subjects to take, whom to make as our friends, not having our friends. Decision making is a skill, and there's an entire process on how you make decisions. If we had more time, I would have definitely taken that. Gratitude. Be thankful for things that you have in your life, and I think the last 9 months have taught us that. Spending time with your family is what matters the most. Spending quality time with them. uh, Understanding your, just being thankful that you have roof under your head. There's so many people who've struggled in this time. They've lost jobs. There are people on the streets. They've really, really struggled. And then of course doing some positive self-talk instead of always talking stuff that's not taking you anywhere. A very good way to do that is, agar koi negative thought dimag mein aa rahi hai, write down the opposite of it. So if you're thinking ki I am helpless, just put that down, that I will do this about it. So write down a positive thought. So it's all about reflection, growth mindset, social intelligence, decision making, gratitude, positive self-talk. I also want to take this opportunity to speak about, like, while I was watching the video, Sanad, the Tech B video, what was really beautiful about that was, when Ishtiyaq, Preet, Kajal, when they were all talking, or in fact even Chandana. I mean, what Chandana spoke was really amazing when she said that what I take back from the course is leadership skills and communication skills, because that is what really matters. And so kudos to you guys. I mean, you guys are doing really, really amazing work, and I congratulate you for that. And yeah, it's
Thank
been
you
an
very
amazing into questions. Yeah.
Sure. So we shall proceed further. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah. So we're done with the present. Yeah, you can go on. Thanks.
Sure. So as Rajat just spoke about, the Tech B program and the video you saw at the beginning, for those who were here since the beginning of the session. So as you all know, HCL Tech B is an early career program. We're recruiting, training and recruiting class 12 students. So students who complete their class 12 in 2019, 2020, and now for the next session, 2021, would be eligible to apply for this program. And well, they can, once they clear the entrance exam, they would be eligible for a job with HCL. So the training program consists of 12 months of training, where the candidates would be going through uh, you know classroom training sessions, which will of course build their foundation on network technology and specific skills that you need, of course, to be employed in IT. It also focuses, as Rajat said rightly, on communication skills training, because of course that would be an important aspect of you being a professional, in the IT industry. Post your classroom training, you're actually given hands-on, apprenticeship training on the job, live projects at HCL. So this is an opportunity which not many get right after school. You would be working on some Fortune 500 clients at HCL and working on live projects with managers who are actually uh, you know knee deep into these clients and know all about HCL service suites, and who would train you to upgrade yourself and also be a spotless professional. So yeah, please do apply if you're interested. It's www.hcltechp.com. You can register on the portal, and you can after that fill in your application form. After which we will reach out to you for your entrance exam and the interview. So now we have a lot of questions which we have really, we've received over the last few sessions that we've done, and we've actually shortlisted some of these, that you could address specifically. Now, while we're addressing these questions, I would encourage audience members to write their questions. Please don't hesitate. यहाँ पे कोई आपके questions को judge nahi kar raha. As you know, Rajat's book's title is already Unjudge Your Teenagers, so there's no judging that's going on here. Please, we're here to help you in whatever way we can, whether it is about the TechP program, whether it is about career paths that you're interested in, or anything else that you would like to ask related to the session or from what you've heard so far. Please, आप अपने questions type in कर सकते हैं. For now, I will, bring up the questions one by one, Rajat, and we can move on from there. Yeah.
Sure.
So here's the first one. How can I prepare for my career or job right from school?
Yeah, so Sanad, here I think what I mentioned before also, it's about developing those skills. It's also about taking on roles, leadership roles while you're in school. Uh, Taking upon opportunities wherever you can learn about people management skills, because that is what matters the most. And of course, creating a balance amongst all areas of your life. So social intelligence and all the 6 skills I spoke about will help.
Yes. Great. Great. Thank you, Rajat, for that. We'll move on to the next question. Now, this is something you touched upon as well briefly, but we can talk about it further, of course, since you work with so many young entrepreneurs. So the question is, how can I build an entrepreneurial mindset?
Yeah, so the one thing that about entrepreneurs is goals and goals. Prepare your goals, work on them, because only if you want the goals to work for you, you need to work on your goals. So goals really makes a difference. Learn about money management skills. That really helps, even if you're in class 12, 11, whatever class you are. Learn about the money management skills. An entrepreneurial mindset requires a lot of resilience. जितना glamorous लगता है being an entrepreneur, it is not. जब आप शुरू करते हो, आप ही प्यून होते हो, आप ही बॉस होते हो, आप सब कुछ होते हो. So उसके लिए just prepare yourself for the skills which I mentioned, the 6 skills plus money management skills is what something you need to focus on. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that answer. I'm sure there's a lot of aspiring entrepreneurs, who are watching right now and who would be inspired by, all these tips that you're sharing with them.
Preparing your investor pitches.
Yeah, absolutely. These will help. I hope everyone's taking notes. So we'll move on to question 3 then. This is what are the most in demand and trending professions or job profiles currently in India?
Yeah, so I'm not sure how many of you have watched. If you haven't, please watch a movie which is called The Social Dilemma. So it's one movie. Sanad, have you watched it?
Yeah, I've watched some of it on Netflix. Yes.
Yeah, so what works today is data. So anything relating to data and AI. So data analytics is one, data analysts, those are professions that work. Then cyber, because everything is online. When there's everything online, there are cyber security experts that are required. Then there are jobs in cloud engineering. So cloud engineers is something which comes up. product managers, and of course, I would say the AI, the artificial intelligence specialists. Because if you've seen Social Dilemma, you'll realize that uh, we are merely robots in their hands, and they know us more than we know them. But from a point of view of an entrepreneur or the person on the other side, if you can understand the other person's mindset so well, it's great for your work. So yeah, these are the professions which are really reigning these days.
Great. Thank you for sharing that. Also, interestingly, a lot of the uh, students who come into Tech B program and then are placed, on the job, they actually end up being in analytics roles or roles similar to what you are saying. So, I mean, definitely, I for myself, see the kind of growth that some of these students get in their life, and it's transformational. So yeah, definitely, I agree with that. These roles are definitely trending right now. So we have one question now from the audience that we can take up real quick. So it's again Tanya, in fact, who's asking about. Well, I'll just bring up the question. It's basically, I think her father is, not. I mean, it's basically a conflict where sometime he's saying you should focus on one thing, and another time he's saying focus on a different thing, like JEE and before that actuarials. So yeah,
Tanya, what is it that you want to focus on?
absolutely, that's
It's
the
your
question.
own career thing. Because if you are clear on what you want, go ahead with that conviction and speak to your father. Maybe he is not seeing that clarity in you, so he's coming up with so many options. So it's about you gaining the clarity of what you really want to do in your. Think about things that you've always thought you would become. See how relevant is that in the current scenario. Focus on the skills, the technical skills required, on your own skills required for that job. Work on it yourself, and once you are really clear on what you want to do, you can also follow the path of going through career aptitude tests and then moving forward with that. But the decision has to be yours, and once you are convinced on what you want to do, the way the way we see ourselves is the way the world sees us. It's clarity that's required in you, and that will bring the clarity in your dad. That's what I'm saying.
Thank you for that. I hope Tanya got what the answer that she was looking for. She's also written engineering is what she's interested in. Tanya, I think if that is what you're interested in, and IT sector is not secure for women. I think she's just shared a comment where she's written IT sector is not secure for women. I would like to tell you that a lot of the senior leadership at HCL as well comprises of women. So perhaps there is a lot of changes that have happened in the industry over the last decade or even more. So I mean, there's definitely it's not the case that women are not secure in an IT industry. I think that's a false belief, in fact. So you should definitely consider that future option for yourself, a career option in IT. And if you're interested, you can absolutely apply for Tech B as well. So yeah, I'll move on to the next question. So this is a question that we had. It's what are the pros and cons of distance learning programs? Now, this question was specifically included because we realized that a lot of students nowadays, would have this, question, especially considering that a lot of, I mean, schooling and colleges are actually going online towards education, and it's all in an e-model, where people are logging in online for classes. So, what is your perspective on this, and what would you say are the pros and cons, for a distance learning program? And is it even any different nowadays, considering that everything has moved online because of the pandemic?
Yeah, sure. So, of course, the pros of distance learning program would be it's at your convenience. You can do it whenever you want. We are fairly packed with our schedules, and when you have to coordinate a time for a offline session, it gets a little challenging. So, it's always good to do it at your own pace. I'm saying this from my own experience of because we recently launched a social emotional skills program, which is online purely. Second pro is that's the way the world is today. So it's the more online you get, the better it is for you. The only con I see that I feel, or I know we're talking on an HCL platform and it's technology, everything. The only con I see is probably the human touch is missing. That's it. The human connection, the human connect is what misses in that. But besides that, I think it's great to go ahead with online programs and distance learning programs. And of course, depends upon who is providing it. That is important. And who is the person who is delivering the session, because you can create a great human connect even online. So it really depends upon who is actually delivering that program or which organization is delivering. If it's an organization of repute, like say an HCL, then of course.
Sure. Thank you for that, Rajat. We'll now move on to the next question. We've just got a couple more after this. So in case the audience has any more questions, we'll be happy to take them up as well. If you could type those in. Now, what were your most important learnings as a student that still help you today? It's definitely something I want to hear about, and I'm sure our audience does too.
All right. So I'm someone who actually was born in a city called Kanpur in Uttar Pradesh, and when I shifted to Delhi, it was like a big city you're shifting to. So I had a lot of time adjusting to the new environment, new students, and so I was someone who kind of got into my shell. And so yeah, so school was a time for me where I really struggled making conversations, not because I was not confident or anything. There was a deep inner confidence, but it never used to come out. So for me, the biggest learnings in school have been to uh, I don't know. I always say it's like a journey of awareness, and it was a lot of awareness. It was coming out of my own shell. It was coming out of my comfort zone. For a boy who would just speak in front of a mirror at home, and then in class 12th is when I really went out to become more vocal and more energetic and come out of my comfort zone. So coming out of my comfort zone has been my biggest learning from as a student. And as I say, it's these skills that you learn and the experiences that stay with you. Yeah. Good
Definitely,
question.
that's a good one. Yeah, thank you. And I also agree with you. I think you've spoken a bit about self-awareness throughout this session. And I think that's definitely one thing which will really help you, outdo yourself in a way, because I mean, you can only perform your best when you know what you're capable of, and that's definitely at every level of self-awareness, whether it's about the kind of personality you have, the kind of interests you have, that will definitely unleash that you know like drive for achievement as well. So yeah.
And in fact, it's a journey of awareness. I always say that it's awareness to acceptance to action. So it's that journey that you take to unleash your
Absolutely
potential.
great. So next question. Now, what are some opportunities that I can explore if I want to work, if I want work experience right after class 12?
Uh, okay. I feel in this context, Tech B is a, is a great option here. But then there are a huge number of opportunities as I spoke about before also. So, in fact, according if we go by research, according to the World Economic Forum, the adoption of new technologies and structural changes in businesses, they are predicted to provide over 133 million jobs in domains like healthcare, STEM that we talk about, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, education, and workforce management by 2022, which is not very far, by the way. So there are great opportunities available. Identify your clusters where you want to get into and just move ahead. There are a whole lot of opportunities available even today. And of course, I think Sanad, you can probably add more about what you guys are doing. I think that's a great thing for 12th class students. You're on mute, Sanad.
Sorry about that. So I was saying you're absolutely spot on. I think times have definitely changed. Perhaps perspectives have also changed in India. Uh, One thing I kind of relate to is the Western model of how students right after school they go for a job first, While of course in the West you have to kind of get into slightly lower rung jobs, into the service industry, like working at a QSR or at a grocery store. But here now in India, there are a lot more opportunities. Of course, one can, like we said, we have a technology first program which helps you actually get a full time job and continue your education while you're working, which is Tech B, of course. So this was definitely something new, which I also, when I was first exposed to it, and definitely this is quite a new phenomenon which a lot of students are taking to and considering really for their career, because of course if you look at it, uh, if I'm doing my my engineering or whatever, my undergraduation after right after school, I'm working after those 3 or 4 years of actually studying. Whereas this program lets you build yourself into your career for 4 years while you also pursue your degree. So that's definitely an interesting take on it. So yes, that was our last session, last question, and we will now wrap up. Thank you so much, Rajat, for being here, for taking out time and answering all the questions that we had. It was truly a pleasure, and thank you everyone who joined in, tuning in from their mobiles or their laptops, wherever you are, at home or outside. I hope everyone is safe, and I hope you're all doing well. Uh, Please, there's an email ID running in the ticker below, where you can write to us if you have any questions pertaining to TechP in particular, and if you have any other questions relating to any career queries you may have, or if you just want to kind of discuss something with us, we'd be happy to get back to you on that email ID below. As for applying to TechP, which I know a lot of people have shown interest already in the comment section, you can log on to www.hcltechp.com. Thank you all, and thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
In India, there are few institutions which prepare you or make you job ready. So there is a lot of competition to go into that institution.
As we know in India, a guy who is pursuing BTech or MTech, he's doing his master. After that also, he's unable to get a job. I interacted with so much technologies. I interacted with Java, C++, and I'm doing practical also.
Cloud computing, cybersecurity, operating system, basic and advanced, networking, basic and advanced, and parallelly we are learning communication skills also.
I, before getting into HCL Tech B program, did not know that I had leadership skills, good communication skills and all.
Giving opportunities to a 12th grade student, it's giving opportunities to fresh minds.